So once again, I've buggered up, and somehow these are all on screen. We see pigs last night's pay-per-view, then we cut to the venue after the opening package, and the promo goes off, and then we play off in normal places. So then we get cut to announce the desk, and Jim's like, welcome wrestling fans, now AJ versus Christian Cage for the world title will happen in 2 weeks because Immortal has been banned from all TV and events for the next 2 weeks. Tonight, Fortune will get an exclusive match. Tonight, Fortune will give an exclusive match as Dave Bautista versus Rock, and Abyss will be in action. And Tony's like, look, after what happened on Impact last week, this is was the only course of action to go through tonight. And Joe's like, coming up first, our first qualifying match for the Ultimate X at Bound for Glory. And they got a nice 72, which is not bad. They weren't meant to be on screen, but there we go. In this match, Kazarian defeated Brian Kendrick in 8:38 by pinfall the bicycle kick. Brian Kendrick 56, Kazarian got a 53. We know that you kind of already knew that Kazarian was going to go through. So yeah, Kazarian is now entered into the is the second man into the 6-way Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory, and Kazarian. Who will he be joined by? Well, we can confirm that he'll confirm some of the debuting stars that will be in that. I can later on tonight. I've already got plans for the Ultimate X. I already know who's going in and who's not. So bear with me. In about a good heat and good rest, decent wrestling, the British Invasion defeated Beer Money in 719 when Doug Williams pinned Bobby Roode with a flying knee drop after Stephen Regal interfered. The British Invasion make defense number 11 of their TNA World Tag Team titles. I expect a lot of matches to be planned for tonight's. Instead of government, instead of state, say much, but you said it loud. I'll deal with that in a bit. I was trying to minimise that. There we go. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of matches later on tonight booked for the pay-per-view. Bobby Roode has a gimmick that's getting stale. I'm just going to hit a space a few times and put Roode here, and I'll deal with that ahead of Explosion. Or tweak it if I can. And JB's like, last night was an awesome pay-per-view, but Immortal being banned from all shows, we can feel safer, but I don't. I've got the former champion Barry Blank with me. And you can see she's looking quite pissed. Well done, you lucky shit. He speared me through some lockers and that did work. 4 weeks away, live on pay-per-view is the biggest night of the year. The stars will be in attendance. It's Bound for Glory. And that night I'm going to cash in my rematch, and this time it will be a ladder match. I'm coming for you, Natty. I like my ladder matches, don't I? I seem to do a lot of ladder matches. A lot of matches are going to be changed this card. A lot of things are going to happen tonight. I'm going to kind of gloss over, and I'm just going to book a load of matches off camera for the up-and-coming one-night only show. The only match I'm going to be announcing for that show ahead of time is the world title match, because I don't really know what I'm going to do with it whereas with the British show, I knew exactly where I wanted to go with that show. I knew that show was going to lead into the pay-per-view we just did, but I have no plans on how to lead the Australian show into Bound for Glory. Yes, so Brianna Garcia, Bobby. There she is, safe. So they're going to be in a ladder match. Pre-book that. Oh, the TNA Knockouts title isn't on the line. And I understand that we haven't had knockouts matches on Impact for a while, so I'm going to start including at least one a show. That gets a nice 56. And then we see Ted Roddy to the match when Regal knocks and comes in, and he goes like, "You wanted to see me?" And Ted's like, "Me and Roddy and upper management had it with you interfering. You've done it in every match, including tonight. So we're gonna do the block like last night. All the invasion matches back to back at Bound for Glory against the challengers from last night. And Mick will get a rematch, and you will be in a cage at ringside, so you can't get involved." So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it there. After the interference last night at TNA Wrestling's Hard Justice, we are going to be redoing all the matches. So it will be Tyler Black taking on Desmond Wolfe for the United States title once again. But you heard it there so that you can understand better what's going on, is that everybody is going to be blocked. Not everybody. That Mr. William Regal is going to be in a cage at ringside. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can prevail on this one. That's for the Intercontinental title. Pre-booking that. Add pre-book match. Also, we've heard it there that Mick Foley will be getting a rematch for the Hardcore title. We are going to be doing another. We're just going to be doing a Hardcore match for that one. What we got Hardcore on here? High risk Hardcore entertainment style. I'm just going to do a hardcore match. So yeah, so that will be Mick Foley. Mick Foley. It's kind of like a side storyline going on, but that'll be Mick Foley versus Mikey Whiplash. It would help if I could do this quicker, because we've got a lot to get through. TNA hardcore match for the TNA. Where's the hardcore title? For the TNA hardcore championship pre-book. So we've got Beast, Barbie, Mick, Tyler Black, Mick Foley versus Mick Whiplash, Tyler Black versus Septemteber Jr. versus Rob Terry. And then we've also got the titles, haven't we, to do. I'm not sure on who Paul London and Jimmy Havoc will be facing, if it's going to be them or if they're going to be in the Ultimate X show. I haven't probably decided on that one, so just bear with me on that. But we know that it's going to be Brother Devon and Brother Ray versus Doug and Magnus for the TNA World Tag Team titles. We've got a 5-hour show to fill, so you know, expect some big matches to happen. There's a lot more being announced. Everything for this show is going to be booked tonight. Believe you me, this part of the episode is going to be the longest bit. So bear with me. In a terrible match, Jason Liger defeated Joe Gracie in 4:49, both from the Shooting Star Press. Once he's left CZW and his honours permanently, he'll be going back down to CZW. I promise you that. In a bad dispatch cast, still pro wrestling, Afro and Junior, Gunner, Rhino, and Crimson defeated Brian Danielson, Rich Swann, John Moxley, now Young in 7:32, and Rhino pinned John Moxley with a gore. Eric Young 46, John Moxley 38, Rich Swann 50, Brian Danielson 65, Crimson 45, Rhino 55, Gunner 44, and Afro Junior 44. And there we go, that goes for 58. And then JP's like, last night this man lost his X Division title, but tonight got his rematch as he's beaten Brian Kendrick in the first qualifying match. And he says, like, JB, look around. I'm beating this guy. Come here. Came here, and we got some big new names in X Division, like Pac, and the guy debuting this week on Explosion in a qualifying match, Kota Ibushi. You see, this is what the X Division is about. Then you get assholes like Kendrick and Paul. You see, Paul, you beat me last night. Well done. But come Ultimate X, I don't care about the other 4 people. I will leave X Division champion again. That's 47. I will confirm now that we are putting the rule into this Ultimate X Division. Ultimate X match, you will not be allowed to use ladders. That is one of the main rules I put in my Ultimate X matches. And then we see Fortune in the locker room. They're hugging on and welcoming him back. And Arn's like, Immortal, you might have given me stitches in my head, and he points at them. But that got rid of you for 2 weeks. So they don't call me the Enforcer for nothing. When I left WWE, I never thought I'd be here tearing up, and now I've got some Bound for Glory news. On that night, it will be Beer Money versus the Hardys in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Your first match for Bound for Glory in the War of Immortal. This is why we're not doing too. That's why I'm hoping I get quite a big crowd, because I think the show will be a brilliant show with a big crowd. You know, I think we're going to get more than we normally do anyway, because it's like the big show of the year, isn't it? So yeah, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and that will be James Storm and Bobby Roode. We're going to save that for that. That's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match between the Hardys and Beer Money. Believe me, I'm not finished. And the Falls Count match, David Batista versus Glenn Jacobs in the last man standing match, and also The Rock versus RVD in a normal match. So we'll get them 2 booked in. You've just heard it there. We'll do the last man standing match first. It's going to be the man formerly known as Kane. I always click the wrong button because I'm used to where the old button is still. We'll be taking on Glenn Jacobs in a last man standing match. That is going to... The more matches we have, which are big quality. Glenn Jacobs versus David Batista. Could you imagine if TNA could have actually had these sort of matches in 2010 on Bound for Glory? It'd be amazing. And then we said The Rock versus Rob Van Dam, which was the actual storyline we're going for. Bound for Glory, and then we kind of made Immortal, and other things happened. But we got to have you can't not have the biggest show of the year without The Rock on it. So The Rock versus Rob Van Dam. Now the change to the main event is coming, so be prepared for this. This one is huge. in a normal match. Now, AJ Styles versus Abyss for the world title will be a buried alive match. Now, if AJ's not the champion, it'll be AJ versus someone of my choosing in that match. You see, I told you this was a war, and now I'm going to believe it because you're not here tonight. So Rock and David go and put on a fortune show for the fans. And Rock's like, if you smell what fortune is cooking. And there you go, my friends. Bound for Glory is shaping up to be a big night indeed. You've heard it there. It's going to be a 1v1. I think most people know that it will be these two. I'm just trying to cover my back so I don't ruin my surprises, but most people know I've been building up to this. No, thank you. Not a bull rope match. Where's the Buried Alive? I checked there was a Buried Alive match in the database. I'll go and see if I'm too small to use it then, because obviously it's not here. Bad Street, Aussie Wars, blah 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 blah. Boo camp, blah blah blah, boo 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 boo. Right, okay. I'll sort that out off camera because I've always had that planned. It's got 78. Not a bad angle actually from these guys. In about fantastic heat and good wrestling, Abyss defeated Monty Brown in 7:48 by pinfall the Black Hole Slam. Abyss got a 79. Monty Brown got a 62. Nice 76 there. In about fantastic heat and good wrestling, Mr. Anderson versus Brock Lesnar. Be ready for more pre-booking of the Bound for Glory card. Believe me, the card more or less gets finished tonight. Brock Lesnar, Mr. Anderson and Brock Lesnar defeat Kurt Angle, Mike Mizanin in 7:42, and Mr. Anderson had pinned Mike Mizanin with a Green Bay punch. Brock Lesnar 83, Mr. Anderson 855, Mike Mizanin 62, Kurt Angle 78, and I got a nice 74. Rating. So after the match, Mike, Angle, Anderson and Brock won't stop fighting, and Money comes out and helps them get the upper hand. Then Cage comes out for the save, but they just keep brawling. Security come out with road agents, and like Slaughter and David Taylor to split them up. Then ching money. And then Paul Heyman is just around because he's the manager. That is it. I've had it with this crap. So Bound for Glory will be Angle versus Brock, Mike versus Anderson, and Cage versus Monty at one night only. Down under. Angle versus Anderson and Brock versus Mike. Now moan or complain, or you lay another hand on each other before Bound for Glory, you're fired. Now it gets nice 76, and you've got some matches there. We're going to go to the Bound for Glory card first because that's kind of where we're at the moment. It's going to be Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar in the rematch. That's going to be a big one. I'm sure the fans can't wait for that one. I'm sure you guys can't either. The big rematch between them two. Mike Mizanin will be taking on Mr. Anderson. I can't do it. Mr. Anderson. And as long as Christian Cage is not the world champion at this show, it will be Christian Cage. Jesus Christ, I think this is the most matches I've booked for a bloody card in ages. Wrong button. Rebook match. As long as Christian Cage is not champion, he will be taking on Monty Brown. I should have really changed the backdrop before starting this, which I'll do in a minute. To the Bound for Glory backdrop. Pre-book. There we go. Tell you speaking, that should have been Hard Justice anyway. I've been using Victory Road. I'll do that now. You can look at the Impact on Access TV. So yeah, there we go. Ted DiBiase comes out, goes, right, that's what's happening. And then we got the one, oh yeah, I've got the one night in Down Under. So Angle at one night only Down Under. I did say I was going to not book stuff, and then I've realised actually I have booked some matches, some other matches. Well, that's good, you know. We need to get the fans in Down Under to kind of buy the tickets because we ain't got no shows down there or anything. Or we're not even got any coverage down, I don't think. It's going to be Anderson versus Angle. And then I did say Mike versus Mike Mizanin, better known as The Miz. He's going to be facing Mike Mizanin versus Brock Lesnar. Of course, we're going to take our biggest stars. Of course, you can expect that Rock and Abyss will be there because Immortal will be there. So yeah, that's a good, nice angle. Gets a nice 76. That leads us into in about a good heat and decent wrestling. Christian Cage defeated Jason Paul in 7:41 by pinfall the kill switch. He got slack drawn the match. Jason Paul 51, Cage 72. Thank you. In about good heat and subpar wrestling, Christico defeats Shad in 7:53 by pinfall. Christico 54, Shad 42. These don't click. And then it's time for your main event of the evening as Dave Bautista goes one-on-one with The Rock. In an exceptional match, The Rock defeated Dave Bautista in 24-33 by pinfall. The Rock bottom. Rock got an 88. Dave Bautista got an 87 and 82. And we close out the show with this angle. So after the match, Rock and Dave hug each other, and then AJ, Rob, and the Hardys come out of the crowd and attack them. Abyss comes out with James Storm and scare them off. Then a load of cops come out and arrest AJ, Jeff, and Matt and Rob to close the Impact show. Of course, they're going to get arrested. They're not meant to be here. It's trespassing. Rock struggled on going off script, which is interesting, and Rob Van Dam has a gimmick that's getting stale. Right, okay, RVD as well needs to be dealt with. And also, I was not going to be doing a show without my biggest star and my world champion appearing. I might have to next week, but he's now been arrested, so there's going to be some angles with that on Explosion. Maybe not, but maybe on Impact next week. That's where we finished the show with an 81 closing angle, an 82 main event, giving us a 79 overall, increasing our popularity in all 24 regions. Better than what Hard Justice did to us, I guarantee that. This has been 15 minutes of me pre-booking stuff for Bound for Glory. The Bound for Glory card is now set in stone. I'm not too sure. I might add some more matches. I might add a women's match and some stuff to the One Night Only card. But I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you for Explosion. And we're rolling. Pre-taping Explosion tonight. 8,827 people came to the Texbury Centre Stadium. I was expecting around about 10,000. Which is great, because I booked a big venue and I didn't get that many people in. Thank you, game. So we get a recap of Impact last week, some clips of Hard Justice, then we cut to the venue. Pyro goes off on the stage, a ring post above the ring, and then Fortune music hits. They come out with their Pyro going on behind them, and they all have Pyro. And goes off on the stage, and then Rock goes, sorry, I'm going to do the talking tonight. Look around. At the end of Impact last week, Immortal invaded Impact when they should not have been there. Look, they're still in jail and won't be here tonight, but we won't be in action. Why? We're going to make sure that Hogan, Eric, and Jimmy's stupid art don't come in and invade. Don't come in and invade Explosion. If you smell what Fortune is cooking. I guess 78. Do you want to continue our address? No. Let's change the gimmick. Thank you. 78. Beautiful. And about these natural cards, Subpar Wrestling, 1980, not Val Sky, Madison Rain, Angelina Love, defeated Gail Kim, Nicole Gracie, Brianna Gracie, and Barbie Blanca 645, and 1980 not pinned Brianna Gracie with a German suplex. Barbie Blanca 48, Brianna Gracie 46, Nicole Grayson 43, Gail Kim 59, Angelina 32, Madison Rain 39, Val Sky 36, and 1980 not 67. Got 55. In about the great heat and good wrestling, Christico defeated Monty Brown in 548 by pinfall. Christico 74, Monty Brown 63. That got a nice 70. And then the following message has been paid for by Immortal. Larry's like, TNA Wrestling, listen up. If you want to book Immortal, any of Immortal in matches, you must tell me beforehand, or they will not wrestle. If not, I also demand that next week that Hogan gets a live interview from his home on Impact. This message has been paid for by Immortal. Thank you, Larry Zbysko. In a short match, Pac defeated Joe Ryan in 528 by pinfall. The Shooting Star Senton. For some reason, Kota Ibushi was not here tonight when he should have been. So we had to do Pac instead. I really need to get Kota Ibushi on a show, even if that means booking him and having his debut in Australia so that he can appear. But I need him in the Ultimate X. That's nice. And about a good heat and decent wrestling, Sting defeated Mr. Anderson in 707 by pinfall. The Scorpion Death Drop. Sting 57, Mr. Anderson 59. I got a nice 61. Your main event of the night is Samoa Joe taking on the leader of the British invasion, Mr. Steven Regal. And in a superb match, Samoa Joe defeated Steven Regal in 22 minutes 21 by pinfall the Muscle Buster. Steven Regal 62, Samoa Joe 83. Mighty Name has a pretty good chemistry core matches. So does Mighty Name Rod Piper. And that's where we finish Explosion over 75. Increase our popularity in 6 regions. I'm going to start booking smaller venues each week. So I'm going to book about 6,000 seater venues, making sure I sell them out because I'm wasting money. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week. Before the go home stuff before One Night Only Down Under, but we're not looking to that. We're looking beyond that, and we're looking to Impact Wrestling. Bound for Glory. So, in the opening angle of episode 17 of the second Impact and final Impact of this episode, I've already made a balls up. Firstly, Eric Bischoff is not on screen when he should have been. And Mike Mizanin is doing Mike Tenay's job. So Mike's like, welcome to Impact. By order Immortal, I am at the home of Hulk Hogan, and joining me now tonight, Eric and Jimmy. Hogan, what do you want? I am here. I've been dragged here to your house for this interview. It's meant to be Mike Tenay, so but Mike Mizanin, is not doing this interview. It's Mike Tenay. Just pretend it isn't. And it's like, I want to tell you something, brother. I got a big surprise planned for Bound for Glory, or maybe just after. You see, Immortal might not be allowed there in person, but I'm going to send a message to Cage for Friday. We'll be in Australia and we'll be on the show. AJ will win. You see, Mike, we're not employed by TNA. We are employed by Eric and his company, Immortal. So he's hired Larry to help us make sure we get treated fairly. So I want a match of Bound for Glory against Sting. I want one more match with that face-painted idiot of Bound for Glory. TNA make it happen, or I quit and go to GFW. And Mike said, well, I know full well you've already got that match, Hogan. As I've spoken to your management today, let's go back to the Impact over the X Division. And we go to the venue, and that's when Private and all that lot of sugar goes off on the stage. Not that I wanted to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's going to be... it's going to be one last time. It's going to be Hulk Hogan versus Sting, and I'm going to do something a bit fun in this episode as well. Before we continue, we're going to have a look at the original 2010 TNA pay-per-view before I ballsed it all up and brought in all of my good shit, all my people. So we're going to have a quick look at the Bound for Glory. Oh, I've closed down the internet. Bound for... We'll have a look at the original. I do remember from looking at it earlier, and actually remember seeing this in person, not actually there in person, but watching it live, that there was the Lethal Lockdown match. Evo 2.0 versus Fortune, I do believe, or was it Immortal? One of the two. So you've got Moxie Machine Guns open up the show, defeating Generation Me for the TNA Tag Team, TNA World Tag Team Champions. So Moxie Machine Guns at this time were the champions. Tara defeated Angelina Love, Madison Rain, and Velvet Sky. Four Corners match for the Knockouts Championship with Mickey James special guest referee. That was a rubbish match, we'll be honest. I do remember that. It was awful. In Kink defeat Eric Young and Orlando Jordan. That was a pretty good match if you want to go and watch a good match. Jay Lethal defeat Doug Williams for the that was for the X Division title. Robin Down defeat Abyss in a Monsters Ball match. And then the band D'Angelo Dinero, Kevin Nash, and Sting defeat Jeff Jarrett and Samoa Joe in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Made no sense. Yeah, it was with Fortune. So you had Evo 2.0, which is Raven, Sino, Sabu, Steve Richards, Tommy Dreamer, aka ECW. They came in with Mick Foley. They had Mick Foley, and then they defeated Fortune, which had AJ Styles, Storm, Kazarian, Matt, and Robert Roode. And in the main event was for the vacant TNA. TNA World Heavyweight title, and because Angle lost, he had to retire, which didn't happen with State. I can't remember how long that lasted. To be honest, he did retire. I remember him retiring for a period, and then Eternal Submission, Director of Operations, New Main Event Mafia, Immortal 2011-2012 with the feud of Angle. See, Parking Lot Brawl. Yeah, so it's a bit of a weird time in TNA, but we're not in that sort of issue. We're at the Bender Arena tonight, which is in Washington. In about details, Subpar Wrestling, Kota Ibushi defeats Petey Williams in 8:19 by pinfall of standing shooting star press. Kota Ibushi has got himself into the Ultimate X at... let's get back into actual what's going on in my show, my 5-hour pay-per-view, what I've put it up to. Kota Ibushi will be wrestling and will be in the Ultimate X. He ain't got a long contract, but he's now gone off since joining us. He's gone off being, he's now become he's not freelance anymore. So I'm hoping that once his contract comes up in about 3 months' time, which I think is going to be November or December time, I'll be able to re-sign him onto a 3-year deal, if not a bit longer. 54, not a bad match actually from him in his debut. In a decent match, Rich Swann defeated Jason Paul in 8:14 by pinfall. Jason Paul got a 51, Rich Swann got a 54. Got a nice little 58 there. And then JBL's like, well, we got Sting versus Hogan at Bound for Glory. Now, this coming Friday night, TNA goes Down Under, but joining me now, Team Angle, who will be facing some of Team Heyman at Down Under. And Angle's like, well, they're all standing there in suits. All 3 of them are in suits, just saying. But this coming Friday night, you got to face Mike Mizanin, and I'm going to be watching like he'll be watching my match. Why? Because you've had it with the antics of Paul Heyman. He goes like, AJ Styles, I've got you in the main event. I'm going to leave the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to walk in Bound for Glory champion. Why? Because we might be having a war with Heyman, but we hate you, Immortal. And Angle's like, you see, we're wearing suits. Why? Because we are the new main event mafia. And we are here to fight. So yeah, Mike Mizan has been introduced into the group because he's a future world champion in Angle's eyes. It come out on TNAWrestling.com that he has held a world title in WWE, which he has done, and therefore that is why he's in the main event mafia. The same as Cage is a former world champion, and so is Angle. So all three of them have had world titles like the original main event mafia in another company, hence why he's in the group. Nice 72. And then JB's like, joining me at this time, Knockouts champion Natty Dean Hart. And Natty's like, once again, I've been screwed. A ladder match, this is bullshit. Look around, I'm a wrestler. How is a ladder match a wrestling match? I'm going to take this up with management. I refuse to defend my title in the ladder match. And Ted's like, Natty, I hear you. And so does the owner. Look, we have changed it to an Iron Man match. 30 minutes, is that okay? And Natty's like, thank you so much. Finally, you're listening to me. Barbie, you're going down at Bound for Glory, and she leaves. And Ted just shakes his head like, he's like, for God's sakes, he's not happy with having to do that, but he's had to do it because she stood there complaining. So it's no longer a ladder match. We're going to have the first ever 30-minute Iron Man women's match in Impact history. It's going to be happening 30 minutes. There you go. Yes, we know. We'll do a slow build. It's fine. So Bobby Brown versus Natty Dean Hart for the Knockouts title in a 30-minute Iron Man match at Bound for Glory. That will be your opening contest of the evening, so get ready for that one. Gets a nice 67 rated. In about didn't have much intel wrestling, Nicole Gracie and Brianna Gracie defeat April Jeanette and Kimberly in 7:59. Brianna Gracie pinned Kimberly with a sit-out facebuster. Brianna Gracie 45, Nicole Grayson 44, Kimberly 34, April Jeanette 27. April Jeanette debuted her Out of Control, Scott Australian Fingerme, and Kimberly debuted her Arrogant Heel. So they're doing okay, which is good. We'll keep moving on. In about decent action crap, Subpar Wrestling, Afrain Jr., Gunner, Orlando Jordan, Rhino and Crimson defeat Mick Foley, Brian Danielson, Juice from the Liger, John Moxley and Eric Young in 7:59 when Orlando Jordan pinned Eric Young with a double knee backbreaker. Eric Young 43, John Moxley 35, Liger 40, Danielson 60, Mick Foley's 52, Crimson 43, Rhino 52, Orlando Jordan 50, Gunner 43, and Afarai Jr. got a 41 and got a nice 52, and we had James Mitchell at ringside. So it got a nice 52, which is good. And we see the flags hanging from the ceiling and the tea and biscuits, and they've got tea and biscuits tonight because it's not a big show. And we see Regal standing there, and he's like, what TNA have said is going to happen at Bound for Glory is stupid and should not happen. How can you put someone of royal descent in a cage? It's treason. If I don't do it, I get fired, so I will, because I stand with my boys. And we will not be wrestling until Bound for Glory, except on Down Under this weekend. Why? Because we need to train hard so we can beat them all. Magnus is now gimmicks getting stale. Okay. So I've got 3 of the 4. Well, I've got Hammond because I've got Xeon Pack. I also forgot to put Paul down on my nice list of people who are in the Ultimate X. So I have 2 more places left in the Ultimate X. It's 9:51. And JB's like, welcome back. I'm joined by X Division champion Paul Lloyd Jr. And Paul's like 6 men, Ron Wing, the Ultimate X. Look, I've never been in Ultimate X, but come Bound for Glory, I'm going to kick ass and win my full Ultimate X and be the X Division champion for a lot longer. He's doing it really cocky. You can tell in his voice he's being really cocky about it. In about a good heat and decent wrestling, Sting defeated Mr. Anderson in 7:47 by pinfall. The Stinger death drop after distraction from Mike Mizan, and the Sting got a 57. Mr. Anderson got a 71. That got a nice 70. In a poor match, the Briscoes defeat most of Machine Guns, Lethal Consequences, and Inking in 7:32. Dual elimination was Lethal Consequences first, then Inking, and finally Motor City Machine Guns. Shadow Moore 54, Jesse Neal 24, Chris Sabin 54, Alex Shelley 66, Consequence Creed 45, G Lethal 55, Mark Briscoe 48, and Jay Briscoe 44. Alex Shelley, oh, for God's sakes, is anybody gonna... I've had enough of playing with gimmicks at the moment. It's like everybody's gimmick is going to stay away at the moment. It's like, I guess nice 52. I'm hoping I can tweak these 2. And then we see them. Why is only Abyss David Batista and I went through the whole list and put everyone on screen. I made sure of it. So we see the entirety of Fortune in the locker room, and I was like, we've heard it all now, Hogan. You demanded shit and got your own GM. Next, you're going to turn Explosion into Immortal TV. Look here, we're coming for you now. We heard the rumours that you're getting someone else in your ranks. So we are on the lookout. We are ready for war. We are ready, and we're going to be Down Under this Friday night. How? Let's do this. Abyss, Rock, David versus Rob, Glenn, Hulk Hogan. See you at Down Under, brother. Now, I wasn't going to put Hogan on the card. I was only going to have him wrestle at have a wrestling match at Bound for Glory. But it feels that we need that star power. Because we got no other, we don't do shows in Down Under. So Hogan, the man formerly known as Kane, Rob Van Dam, he wasn't going to get re-signed by WWE, so we had to pick him up. It's kind of the only way to do it. So then it's also going to Hulk Hogan, Glenn Jacobs, Rob Van Dam. We're also going to have, who was it? David, Batista, Abyss, and The Rock. They're all going to be in a match at Down Under. It's going to be a good one, that is. I'm looking forward to that. Fortune versus Hulk Hogan and Immortal. Hogan is in Immortal. Donut, so it's a nice 72. He should be. I swear he's in the group. In about fantastic and great wrestling. Fortune, Dave Batista, The Rock and Abyss defeat main event Mafia. Kurt Angle, Mike Mizanin, Christian Cage 944 and The Rock pinned Mike Mizanin with a rock bottom. Abyss 79, Rock 88, Dave Batista 85, Christian Cage 72, Mike Mizanin 65 and Kurt Angle 87. So after the match, Fortune go over and shake the hand of the main event Mafia and say thank you for a good match. Thank you for Christian Cage blowing his eardrum. Only he could manage that. And next up is Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. Your main event tonight is Joe versus Lesnar. It would be AJ and someone, but AJ's not on the card. In an exceptional match, Brock Lesnar defeats Samoa Joe in 24-42 by pinfall. Samoa Joe 82, Brock Lesnar 92, gets a 77. Those lax, but that's fine. After the match, why is that? I click on make sure everybody is on the screen when I do angles, and then you come to do them, and then they're not on screen. It annoys me. So after the match, Brock gets Paul hold his hands up as the winner. Angle music hits, and he just comes out on the stage, and they both just having this massive stare down as you close out Impact. That's where we finish tonight's show, which gave us a 74, once again increasing our popularity in 13 regions. We'll see you guys on Explosion. And this week on Explosion, I can confirm that Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar will be a rematch. Ladies and gentlemen, we have sold out the Bender Arena tonight. 6,000 people have packed this venue out to see TNA Wrestling, and it's Explosion and Impact tapings tonight. Also, TNA, this is taped after Impact. Once Impact's done, it finishes live stuff. This gets pre-taped. So we get a recap of Impact and how it closed, the opening package, and we cut to the venue. Prior goes off as we cut to now Stess and Mike. So welcome to Explosion. Tonight, 24 hours after Down Under, we got an hour of action like no other right here on Sci-Fi. And it's like, look, this place is an all-out war zone. As the biggest night of the year is coming ever closer. And Roddy's like, tonight we're going to have some great matches, including the rematch. By order of me, it will be Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar live tonight. But first, Natty defends the world title in an open challenge. In an extremely short match, Natty did not defeat Marty Bow in 5:16 by pinfall the German suplex. Natty did not make defense number 1 of her TNA Knockouts title. Marty Bow 20, Natty did not 66. Got a nice 46. In a poor match, Austin Aries defeated Seema in 7:53 by pinfall the Brainbuster. Seema 44, Austin Aries 49. I knew this match would bomb because people were not interested in them, which I don't understand, to be honest. And Austin Aries has now earned himself a spot in the six-man Ultimate X match. There will be one more qualifying match next week on Impact. JB, joining me this time, the woman who will challenge for the Knockouts World title at Bound for Glory, Barbie Blank. And Barbie's like, look, I've heard it all. Miss Natty bringing some outside and giving them a match to prove she's the best. Now it's going to be an Iron Man match. Fine, let's do this shit. I can't wait to kick her ass. Also, Mighty Bell, you've impressed TNA. Get ready to join Shimmer for some training. So she's getting a developmental contract after a great performance. tonight. In about the great heat, decent wrestling, Christian Cage defeats Shad in 8:27 by pin of the kill switch. Cage 47, Shad 45, got a 61. And your main event of the night, of course, is Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. And in an exceptional match, Samoa Joe defeated Brock Lesnar in 25:04 by pinfall the Muscle Buster after a distraction from Kurt Angle. Brock Lesnar 90, Samoa Joe 79. That's how you close it off, finish the show. Again, as a 72. Only lost popularity in 9 regions, but increased popularity in 6. Not going to worry too much. It was kind of like, just, get this show out of the way so we can get to the one night only stuff and get to Battle for Glory. The next few shows are going to be better once we can have AJ back, because I kind of wrote him off screen because of what he did, but I couldn't let him have repercussions. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in Australia with probably quite a small crowd this coming. Well, I classify this show as a success already. Was only expecting 80 people to turn out tonight to see TNA wrestling. One night only down under, but we've got 95. Hooray! Hey Jack, so you got the cardboard cutouts to put out in the venue. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final part. After this, we will be straight on the road to Bound for Glory. This is the end of episode number, 17 I do believe. Yeah, episode 17. We're going to be on the road to Bound for Glory after this show. But in a poor pre-show match, Rhino, Crimson, Afire Jr. defeat out Young Mick Foley and Scene Custom. And then 38 when Afire Jr. pins Scene Custom with a spinning side slam. Well, after James Mitchell interfered. I wanted to see how well he does. 29. So 40, Crimson 38, Rhino 50, Scene Custom 29, Mick Foley 61, Eric Young 42. I might hire you. You might actually get a development to deal with CZW after that performance. In the future October wrestling on this crowd, Austin Kong defeated Apple Jeanette, Jesse McKay, and Tara in 2010-15. And Nelson King pinned April Jeanette with an implanter buster. April Jeanette 24, Austin Kong 33, Jesse McKay 23, and Tara 42 gets a nice 37. In the pre-show October wrestling on this crowd, Motor City Machine Guns defeating King and the Kings of Wrestling. In 7:33, the order of elimination was Kings of Wrestling first, and then Inc. Shannon Moore 43, Jesse Neal 23, Claudio 24, Chris Hero 42, Saban 45, and actually 48. That's a nice 44. In a terrible pre-show match, Orlando Jordan defeated Kevin Steen in 8:01 by the double knee backbreaker. Kevin Steen 37, Orlando Jordan 40, gets a nice 38. A company people thought would never grow. We are going to grow. TNA Wrestling is going global tonight in front of a small crowd. TNA brings its wrestling to Australia tonight on USA. Watch as TNA's put on the greatest show for the fans in attendance. When we got to the venue, we see the crowd. They're wearing TNA shirts and they're chanting TNA. And Jim's like, last month TNA brought its live tour here. Tonight we bring our one night only tour to Australia, 3 weeks away from Bound for Glory. And so he's like, look, guys, this card is stated. It don't matter how many fans we have in attendance, about having a good time. And Joey's like, look, WWE diehard fans will call this a failure. I call this a success. We got fans, no fans is a failure. Let's kick this off with Natty's Open Challenge. And in a decent match, Natty Not defeated Savannah Summers in 7:35 by pinfall the German suplex. And Natty Not makes defense number 2 of the TNA Knockouts title. Natty Not 72, Savannah Summers 33. That got a nice 62. Beautiful. In above that had terrible wrestling on this crowd, Kazarian, Kota Ibushi, Pac, and Roderick Strong defeated Paul Lloyd Jr., Brian Kendrick, Paul Robinson, and Jimmy Havoc in 10:21 when Kazarian pinned Jimmy Havoc with a bicycle kick. Roderick Strong 38, Pac 39, Kota Ibushi 37, Kazarian 45, Jimmy Havoc 28, Paul Robinson 35, Brian Kendrick 56, and Paul Lloyd Jr. 42. Hold on a minute. Give me a second. I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything correct for this match. Got more in core. Yeah. Yes. So basically what happens is Kazarian, where is he? In terms of a bicycle kick, Kazarian just pins Jimmy Havoc. So yeah, basically you've got it's just I'm checking the Ultimate X lineup. So yeah, this makes sense. So Kazarian pins Jimmy Havoc, and on Impact this week, Roderick Strong will be taking on Jimmy Havoc in the next round. Roderick Strong 38, Pac 39, Kota Ibushi 37, Kazarian 45, Jimmy Havoc 28, Paul Robinson 35, Brian Kendrick 56, and Paul Lloyd Jr. 42. I guess a nice 47. In above at Subpar Wrestling, a little heat juice from the Liger defeated Rich Swann in 8-12 by the Brainbuster. Rich Swann 42, juice from the Liger 42. Gets a 41. In above at Decent Wrestling, good heat and decent wrestling. Sting defeats Steven Regal in 8:03 by pin for the Scorpion Death Drop. Sting 54, Steven Regal 60, got a nice 60C. In about at Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, the British Invasion, Rob Terry, Desmond Wolfe, Doug Williams, and Magnus defeat Zack Sabre Jr., Tyler Black, and Team 3D in 9:49 when Doug Williams pinned Zack Sabre Jr. with a flying knee drop after Steven Regal got involved. Tyler Black 41, Zack Sabre Jr. 35, Brother Ray 61, Devon 65, Magnus 43, Doug Williams 46, Rob Terry, Desmond Wolfe 48, and Rob Terry got 19. I did think he would do quite bad in the show, but everything else worked fine. We got a nice 54. In an abysmal match, Michael Ash defeated Sid Parker in 7:54 when Sid Parker was put through a table. Michael Ash makes defense number 1 of the TNA Hardcore title. I'll be speaking to him after this show, and I will be trying to get him on the developmental deal. I do like Sid Parker. He's one of my favourite Australian wrestlers. But Michael Ash got 29. He got 31. Not the best match, but it was a match nonetheless. In about decent wrestling, Madame Retreat, Chris Coe defeated Monty Brown 11:20 by pinfall after distraction with Christian Cage. Monty Brown 39, Chris Coe 64. We know that Christian Cage is going to be in the main event tonight. Will what he's just done to Monty Brown play into tonight's main event? We're interested to see. In a decent match, Daniels defeated Bryan Danielson in 10:39 by pinfall, the best moonsault ever. Daniels 41, Bryan Danielson 67. He got a nice 62. In above at Subpar Wrestling, it'll heat Samoa Joe defeated Gunner in 13:19 by from the Missile Buster. Gunner 34, Samoa Joe 63. Got a nice 57. In a poor match, Crime Time defeated Generation Me and the Briscoes. The order elimination was Generation Me first and then the Briscoes. Jeremy booked 43, Max booked 41, Jason Paul 50, Shad 48, Mark Briscoe 39, Jay Briscoe 34, got a 49. In a superb match, Kurt Angle defeated Mr. Anderson in 14:46 by pinfall the Angle Slam. Mr. Anderson 58, Kurt Angle 88, got a nice 81. In about another cheating tail wrestling, Nicole Gracie, Gail Kim, Brianna Gracie, and Bobby Blank defeat Angela Love, Madison Rains, Velvet Sky, and Kimberly. 11:59 and Bobby Blank pinned Kimberly with a leg drop bulldog. Bobby Blank 32, Brianna Gracie 46, Gail Kim 51, Nicole Gracie 41, Kimberly 33, Velvet Sky 30, Madison Rain 29, and Angela Love 29. Got a nice 46. In a decent match, Beer Money defeated the American Wolves, the Hardys, and Lethal Consequences in 8:49. The elimination was the Wolves first, then Lethal Consequences, and finally the Hardys. We know that Beer Money will take on the Hardy Boys at Bound for Glory. Eddie Edwards 41, Dave Richards 40, Jeff Hardy 79, Matt Hardy 77, Bobby Roode 47, James Storm 53, Consequence Creed 42, and Jay Lethal 45. Gets a nice 67. In about fantastic heat and great wrestling, Brock Lesnar defeated Mike Mizanin in 10:02 by pinfall. Brock Lesnar 94, Mike Mizanin 55. He gets an 83. In about fantastic heat and great wrestling, the Fortune, The Rock, Abyss, and Dave Bautista defeated Hulk Hogan, Glenn Jacobs, and Robert Dam in 24 minutes 32, and Abyss pinned Glenn Jacobs with a torture wrap backbreaker. Dave Bautista 83, Abyss 55, The Rock 96, Robert Dam 77, Glenn Jacobs 39, and Hulk Hogan 69. Got a nice 73. And our main event of the night will be Christian Cage taking on AJ Styles for the TNA World Heavyweight title. In a decent match, AJ Styles defeated Christian Cage by pinfall with a springboard 450 splash following interference with Monty Brown. AJ Styles makes defense number 19 of the TNA World Heavyweight title. AJ Styles 65, Christian Cage 61. They got 71. That's where we finished tonight's show. Hopefully, with 71, increased our popularity in 7 regions, kept us the same across America. With 95 people and getting a 71 rating, you cannot complain with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in America on Monday night as we close out the road to Bound for Glory. Two more impacts, 2 more explosions, and we'll be there. 5-hour wrestling pay-per-view. You don't want to miss this. This was episode number 17. And the Impact Bound for Glory is coming in the next episode tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Do not miss it.